God. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Let's congratulate the class of 2017 and give all of them a round of applause. Here we all are, graduating as Olympians. But do you truly know what it means to be an Olympian? For centuries, the Olympics have hosted some of the fiercest competitors in history. Olympians have given their all, time and time again. But do you ever wonder if those Olympians ever feared giving it their all and still coming in last place? Whether they were uncertain of their abilities to compete with the best competitors in the world? Of course they did. They are, after all, only human. But that did not stop them from representing their whole country with courage and pride. What I'm trying to convey is that we will be afraid and have our fears to reach for our goals. Because after all, we're only human. I am afraid. I have my fears. And after all, I'm only human. I fear of having my ideas laughed at. Fear of not being good enough. Highest on my list of fears is my fear of success. Fear of stepping out of my comfort zone and not quite achieving my goal. I'm afraid to push myself, only to find that I was a fool for having even tried in the first place. I'm fearful even now, standing in front of all of you, vulnerable to the opinions of each and every one of you. 2 years ago, I would have never imagined standing here, speaking to you. I did not believe I was good enough to be here, because after all, I'm only human. Being a first-generation immigrant from Mexico, there were exceptionally high expectations of me. I had attended a 4-year institution before Mesa, Marymount California University, but I lacked the maturity and drive to be successful away from home. My parents sacrificed so much. They underwent incredible levels of stress just for me to attend this 4-year school. Not only financially, but years of moral support, and even weekend soccer tournaments. And it all came crashing down in one day. I still remember the day my parents decided me to pull me out of school because my grades were not good enough, weren't worth the money they were spending. I remember the look of disappointment in my mother's eyes and in my father's eyes. I remember locking eyes with my mother and seeing the pain and agony screaming from her eyes. I quickly looked to the floor because the pain, it hit me like daggers. There are no words to describe the pain I felt that day, when the only two people in the world who believed in me and supported me lost their trust and confidence in me. This pain crushed me, knowing I had failed the two people that had put everything on the line for me to be successful. I failed to live up to their expectations, because after all, I'm only human. I began attending Mesa in the fall of 2015, not because I wanted to, but because it was expected of me. I would go to classes, but wouldn't truly learn. I was just going through the motions. One day, as I frustratingly looked for parking throughout campus, I began questioning, why was I at Mesa? Did I want to continue pursuing my education seriously? Or was it just something I was doing to appease my parents? I wrestled with this question while I looked in the main parking lot in front of the Student Services building, and while I circled around to the parking structure, and ultimately, as I settled for parking off campus, and having the long walk to campus and back. On this long walk to campus, I made the decision to give my education another shot, and to give my best effort. And this time, if I failed, at least I knew I gave it my best shot. I began looking for opportunities Mesa offered outside of the classroom, and a friend of mine from my French class, Brenda Cardenas, invited me to join student government with her. So, after class, she walked me to the student government offices, where I met senators that would go on to become close friends of mine and go on to have meaningful impacts in my life. These senators took me in without questioning my past. They allowed me to become part of the process of the inner workings of student government without doubting me. These people don't realize just how important their acceptance of me was. Some of them have already graduated, some are here today, and others, unfortunately, could not attend. But I think it is important for me to acknowledge the importance that they had on my life, and whether you all know it or not, had on your lives as well. First, Brenda Cardenas. Without her openness and willingness to help me get involved, I would probably not be standing in front of all of you. Tad Tobar. Even though we were running against each other, you greeted me with a smile the first time we met. And without you, I would have never joined the speech and debate team, and I definitely would not be here today. Josh Hyder and Joe Newell. When I first met you two, I thought you two were brothers, and mixed up your names constantly. You guys were seasoned veterans with student government, and although I was new to the team and didn't know how everything worked, you had patience with me. Johanna Eriksson, and the rest of the Swedes, as I like to call them. You all always greeted me with a smile and welcomed me to the office like I belonged. And since I'm doing shoutouts, I'd like to thank my mom and dad for never giving up on me and staying with me all these years. I jokingly always tell my dad that the only reason I was so successful on the debate team was because we would fight about everything, from what we could eat for lunch to strategies and moves I could have done while playing soccer. But I truly want to thank the two of you for everything you've done for me. It has not gone unappreciated, and I'm sorry for all those years I didn't live up to the potential you saw in me, that I had not yet seen in myself. After all, I'm only human. Lastly, I'd like to thank Donald Trump, not for being a role model in my life, but for being a motivating factor to pursue my career in political science as fervently and passionately as I do. I remember the day when I watched him call my people thieves, rapists, and drug dealers. I was shocked. It seemed everything and everyone around me stopped. I never believed I would see the day when someone running for the highest office in the land would attack a whole group of people so blatantly and maliciously. I was mad, confused, disheartened, and disillusioned. But I have now seen that I can use all those feelings I have towards his rhetoric as energy and motivation to succeed in life. Just as I have used a negative entity in my life to give motivation to my work, so should you all. We all choose how we react to negative situations in our life. From having a terrible boss to failing to reach your goals, we choose how we react to them. If there's one thing you take away from this speech today, it's this. The only thing you are in control of in this world is how you react to obstacles and negative emotions in your life. You can either let them break you, or you can choose to rise above and use those obstacles and emotions as lessons. Choose to overcome those feelings, because being afraid of challenges isn't all of those. After all, we're only human. In these times where our parents and friends are looking for us to make large strides after graduating from Mesa, I know the uncertainty that lies within all of you, even amongst the family and friends in this audience, because I feel it too. Even I, as I stand in front of you, sharing this moment of growth with you all, am faced with the uncertainty in where my future will take me. I do not know whether my future lies within a 4-year institution after the semester. I may in fact have to remain at Mesa for another year. But that's okay. I have grown within the last 2 years, and would be excited to see how much more Mesa could help me grow if I do in fact stay one more year. And by saying this to you all, I want you to know that it's okay if your life doesn't go how you expect it to go. Some of you would have never imagined being at Mesa during high school, yet here you all are. And I'm sure none of you regret the time you spent at Mesa and the time Mesa has spent on you. We have all created memories, we have all grown, and this uncertainty that we're all feeling is okay. Because after all, we're only human. Mesa has provided all the tools to transform a broken teenager into the man I am today. From learning leadership skills with the Associated Student Government and being the vice president of the Diversity Club, to vastly improving my communication and critical thinking skills in a national speech and debate competition in Washington, D.C. I have lived experiences being an Olympian that have shaped my thoughts, my perspective, and my ideologies, just as I'm sure Mesa has had its impact on all of you. I want to thank you all for taking this journey of college with me, and I hope you carry the lessons I have shared today throughout your life, because we are the future. And even when you feel like you haven't lived up to your potential, just remember, you're still alive, and you still have time. Lead your life like an Olympian, with fear and uncertainty, while at the same time using those emotions to fuel your drive to succeed. Use those emotions because we can choose how we react to the situations and feelings around us. Use them because they are unavoidable. Because after all, we are now Olympians. Congratulations to the class of 2017.